much safer and more productive to post on social media and get the dopamine from the likes and whatever than it does to go up to people and be like, hey, do you want to buy this? No, I don't. Oh, fuck, that hurt, and I'm not immune to it. Like I've said, I actually said on David Gray's podcast yesterday, which is, he's like, oh, how do you deal with like blowback on social media, even though it attracts people and so on? I'm like, well, actually, it doesn't attract people, which is my following has probably gone down 2,000 people since October, because I said like, no, I'm not a coach. I'm not the rugby guy. I'm not going to fucking upload funny memes on request. I'm not going to put up exercise videos, all that kind of shit. And there's a bunch of people that I've turned off about that. But, the revenue's doing this. Who cares? It's better to like Vernon Griffith, fucking smart guy. He said, there's a difference between consumers and customers. Consumers want their hit of dopamine. They want to be entertained. Customers are the ones that put food on the table for your family. And it's better to have 10,000 followers, 25% of whom are dyed-in-the-wool customers that love your stuff, than it is to have 100,000 followers and have 1% of them be customers. You got 99,000 consumers. And then I think, the final thing, the final reason that people fail is just a lack of strategy, not knowing what to do, analysis paralysis and stuff like that. And that's basically what the course is there to do. I've tried as much as possible, step by step, break it down, and we'll see.
So, essentially you trying to help, maybe a younger you, or is this for younger coaches, is this for established coaches? Like who would it be for as you're looking back on, not only your career, but as forward with the course?
Mate, I think there's, two kinds of strength coaches. Ones who are constantly worried about money, getting fired, being painted into a corner career-wise, and fucking liars. Like, you could probably limit the number of people that are truly independent in the field to like 50. And these are the ones that have been, for real. Yeah. Even amongst the P5 football guys, which is where you might get into. So financial independence, according to Scott Galloway, is a ratio. What do you make from passive investments versus what do you spend? If the income of the passive cash flow exceeds your monthly expenses, you are rich, you are wealthy. If that ratio is not lined up correctly, you are not wealthy. And if you were to look at the number of people, even at the highest echelon of sports, where you're getting the $2, $3, $4, $500,000 a year, but then you factor in the half of it's tax, you have lifestyle creep, all that kind of stuff. I really doubt that a lot of those people, unless they've been smart with their money, can have an indefinite amount of runway where like, well, okay, well, I don't need a job. I don't need to look for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. With the highly paid sport coaches, when you get into the millions of dollars, I believe that can be done. But it really is not the case in strength and conditioning. So I honestly believe most, if not all, strength coaches, young, old, whatever, would be highly served by putting themselves in a financially more robust position. The ideal being you work out whatever it is you need to survive each month. You get your side income up to that. And then if the shit was to hit the fan tomorrow, you can survive indefinitely without a job and or ramp up that income. Not saying that you're going to be a millionaire, but it's the peace of mind. I'm not sure if you've experienced it in your career. I for sure have experienced it, which is the second you walk out of the job that you've just been fired or you resigned from, you have that creeping anxiety of like, where's the next job coming from? I'm going to have to say yes to this. I don't feel really good about this. Like, there's people that we know in that situation or will be in that situation soon. Mm-hmm. And when you set yourself up to be financially robust through your own means, you're buying yourself time, the opportunity to step back and think, and to avoid that panic.
I mean, it almost sounds like you're doing the same thing that Strength Coach Network existed before, bridging the gap between university and real life for strength coaches. And now it's the same thing in terms of finances, because this doesn't get taught in schools, whether you're a strength coach or not, right?
It's been a while since I've been at school.
Same. I'll preface that too. You're
But
right.
yeah. And here's the thing. I never miss an opportunity to shit on William and Mary.
As
They
you should.
they would talk forever about, well, our mission is student experience and we want to put people in the community and we want to do this and we want to do that. And I'm like, you fucking lose money hand over fist. Step one of realizing your vision for the community, for the students, whatever bullshit you want to say it is, because it's really about winning, is to keep the lights on. If you hemorrhage money and you're going to go broke, you will cease to exist, and every other thing that follows in terms of your mission will die. And I believe the strength and conditioning field has started to get to the point where if you clearly it's not about the money. Otherwise, we'd all be accountants and lawyers and shit like that. People want to be strength and conditioning coaches because it is an awesome job. At its best, it's an awesome job. Front row seat for sporting events. You get a little bit of status. You get to be in large groups. You get to exercise. You don't have to wear suit and tie to work. All that kind of stuff. There is a price to be paid for those things, which is you're not going to make a lot of money. You're going to have to eat shit from admins and sport coaches that have a fraction of your education and knowledge. You're going to be painted into a corner a little bit. Your family life is going to suffer and so on. And I believe what cranks up those difficulties is a lack of money. I've been in the situation where I got paid more in a month than I made in my first year of coaching. And I'm sure if somebody offered you $1 million a year and said, you're going to have to, you're not going to be home 6 nights a week to put your kids to bed. You're not going to see your wife and stuff like that. You'd be like, who? I'm going to miss who? And, it just exacerbates the difficulty, which is when you're forced to eat that level of shit and be poor in the process. Mm. Yeah. And when you're risking yourself being in the position that you're not able to realize high level ambitions that you have for your career, what you feel the mission is of what you do, do not pass go. So if you can at least take those money problems off the table, you feel a bit more comfortable about, okay, I'm willing to eat a little bit of shit. I'm willing to put up with this. I'm willing to put up with that because I know that I'm not, not to be too dramatic, sacrificing my kids' future, my ability to put them into college, my ability to look after my wife, my ability to live in a nice house, like all that kind of stuff. We're starting to get to that point in the industry where you, believe it or not, are sacrificing those things to tell everyone oh, I work at Clemson. Oh, I work at Pitt. I work at wherever. Congratulations on making it to the end of the video. Why don't you celebrate by watching more videos just like it? You can also help us on our quest to placate the algorithm gods by liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. Thank you.